Good day. The Mandalorian has launched. To say that I was skeptical of the whole thing is a significant understatement. After the other outings by Disney, I figured The Mandalorian would be utter crap. It was, in fact, not utter crap, although there were still several crappy elements. So you have The Mandalorian, which is just basically a Mandalorian, and you can see him in Episode 1 going on his various adventures, and the adventures are definitely entertaining. This actually is what Star Wars was meant to be. Good old-fashioned, rough-and-tumble adventure stuff, and you definitely get that. The special effects are of adequate quality, although the city CG is pretty shitty to say the least. Some of the practical effects look good, but some of them look like something out of a fan film. Overall, the special effects look perfectly serviceable for a high-quality YouTube fan film. So what is the story? Well, the show begins with The Mandalorian going into a cantina and getting into a big fight to save a blue guy, or to capture a blue guy. The blue guy is everything wrong with 2019 TV. He's extraordinarily annoying, and you want to see the Mandalorian bash him over the head. Really, he didn't need to be this annoying, as he is certainly not sympathetic in any way, and it really feels very cheap. We're on an ice planet, and there's, of course, ice sea monsters, and it tries to bite the ship, but, of course, the Mandalorian gets away. The ship scene after they escape the ice planet is pure cringe. There's some toilet humor and stuff like that. Totally unnecessary, and just complete crap. After the ice scene, we get a trading planet with the Mandalorian walking around and turning his bounties into not Lando Calrissian, and he gets paid in some kind of Mon Calamari currency, which the Mon Cals should be a part of the New Republic, so they should be using Republic currency, but whatever. He then gets a shady dealing with a Imperial. You see some stormtroopers with non-polished armor. Yeah, I get that it's a desert, but these are Imperial stormtroopers, the best of the best. They should have slightly better-looking armor than that. And he gets a mission to go on some random, to go to a random planet to pick up something. It's all very shady. He's paid in Mandalorian Beskar, which that's pretty cool that they actually were able to use that from the EU. I was very, very surprised by this, and very, very appreciative that whoever wrote this actually cared enough to do that. We also get some other nods to real canon, most notably the Mythosaur, although the Mandalorians did not ride them. Instead, they killed them and built cities out of their bones, which was kind of stupid, but whatever. We cut to the Mandalorian quarter of this city, and the Mandalorian gets a new shoulder pauldron. It seems a little more ritualistic than Mandalorians are known for in the original EU, but it still works. And of course, the Mandalorian has to have the default traumatic childhood. Moral of the story, don't ever be a parent in the Star Wars universe, because if you do, your days are certainly numbered. Just look at what happened to Bail Organa. So, the final part of the mission is the Mandalorian goes to track down this mysterious bounty. The desert planet sequences are actually pretty good. He somehow tames a desert lizard kind of thing. The desert lizard looks pretty stupid. But there's no cringe, which is quite appreciative. This Mandalorian is much less stoic than Boba Fett, which I quite like, because Boba Fett I think would make for a very boring character. But I have to say, I think that as the season goes on, we'll see more of him, and we'll see that he's a much more sympathetic character, which is actually pretty good. I'm surprised they made him quite like this, especially considering modern 2019 TV. So, what you get is the best part of the show at the very end. The Mandalorian teams up with a bounty hunting droid, which is not really in fitting with the original EU. The bounty hunting droid looks like IG-88. IG-88 killed all the designers of the Fill-to-Droid program when he was brought online, so there really shouldn't be any, but whatever. It's still cool to see a guy that kind of looks like Boba Fett fighting alongside an IG-88 looking robot. It was just beautiful. The scene was absolutely excellent from start to finish. He actually has to earn his victory, which I thought was really, really good. he actually ends up capturing a repeating blaster and is able to shoot a lot of them. The droid character is actually pretty cool. He keeps wanting to self-destruct himself, but he never gets to. It's a good little bit of humor there. And at the end of the episode, well, they find the Yo baby. There's a baby Yoda that was the bounty. And I gotta say, I didn't see that coming. I don't know how that's gonna work out, to be perfectly honest. The Yo baby, really, Yo baby for the win, because I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if this works out the way I think it is, it could be that the Mandalorian teaches the Yo baby how to be a Jedi, or maybe it's like Yoda reincarnated. Yeah, this is such a big break with the EU, but you know what? It's not bad. Music for the episode was suitably generic, but I liked the desert riding scene music. I'm actually going to put that on my phone at some point. It's just, this was a really good show for 2019. The acting was pretty good. The story was excellent. It was actually, I believe, directed by the guy who did Iron Man 1, and that kind of shows. It just really worked. If you compare this to, say, Discovery Episode 1, it's just head and shoulders above that. Star Wars is back. I don't know how long it's going to be back. Episode 2 could be terrible for all I know. But for this episode, Star Wars is back, and it's good to see it back. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. It is very much worth watching. There's very little cringe. There's no SJW stuff at all in this show so far. And so, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good, Just Real, and good Jodo Cast, or whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.